Is this thing on? Hey, what's up? Been a while since we talked. It's been some big changes, and this is the only way I know how to talk about them. Um, if you didn't get a text from me, please don't feel like that's because I didn't think you were important enough. It's just been a stressful month, and this is easier on me. There's people I consider family that didn't get text messages. Um, this is just the best way for me to handle this without having to have hundreds of little individual conversations and feeling really crappy. So as of February 1st, I'm no longer at the University of Wyoming. Um, that was not something that I wanted. Um, Circumstances beyond my control have kind of come up, and I am no longer there. I wasn't fired. I resigned, um, but it wasn't necessarily all my choice. And we're going to leave it at that because there's a lot of people at the University of Wyoming that I love and a lot of people I care about deeply. You can see behind me, still got lots of UW gear. And if you got UW gear because I went there or you've been betting on them or cheering for them, please keep doing that. I know I will be. Um, that's a huge 15 months of my life and a big chapter. And the things I was able to do over that time were things that I was kind of afraid I wasn't able to do anymore, and that I lost something, that touch, that drive, that creativity. Um, so yeah, it's over. Um, so what does that mean now? I have no idea, and it's terrifying. Um, I'm looking for a job. So if you know anybody who needs podcast, videos, photography, really poorly spelled blogging, I'm your guy. I have my rig from the studio in Pittsburgh that the boys at Thoughts from the Bench were nice enough to send to me. That means a lot because that means that there's some people in Pittsburgh that used to make content regularly that don't have that equipment anymore. And I cannot thank them enough for understanding and being willing to send me the gear. Because that's a big sacrifice from them. Especially financially, if they do want to continue, they're going to have to figure out their own means. I'd also like to thank Greg and Derek, who are the ones that absolutely stood behind me when it came to getting the gear out here for me, restarting all this kind of stuff. They were right there along the way. And thank you to Greg, who packed all this crap up and spent $1,000 to ship it to Wyoming. But yeah, so what's next? Well, first off, you may have already guessed it. This feed is back up and running, right? So A Great Depression is coming back in some way, shape, or form. It'll probably be seasonally based where you'll get 7 to 10 episodes a season, and you may get 2 or 3 seasons a year. Trying to run this show weekly while also trying to find a job. And if I do get a job, hopefully soon, I won't necessarily be able to maintain that pace that I was at when we started this show and when I was back in Pittsburgh. Also largely because I don't have the source to pull from here of people to talk to and that kind of thing. But it'll be around in some way, shape, or form. A Great Depression must go on. Especially now, because I'm more miserable than I've ever been, and you're going to want to hear me bitch. No, I'm kidding. I can tell you, though, for sure, I'm going back to 2 beers deep. That was a decision that Greg and Derek and Chip, our HR manager, made. That's tough for them, and I can't thank them enough for being willing to open that gate again, because when I pitched the idea during COVID They knew it was going to change Two Beers Deep dramatically, and it did. We jumped to Twitch. We were doing all these bits. We had these animated videos, and then when I went to Wyoming, all that stopped cold turkey, and they had to kind of reinvent themselves back to what they were before I joined. So with me coming back, there will definitely be some production upticks again. There will be some really bad takes on Trae Young being the top 10 NBA player. But we're going to try to find a happy, we're going to try to find a happy medium where if I have to leave again, I'm able to. Plain and simple. For me, career-wise, next steps are find a gig, but try to find one that's a long-term solution and not another quick stint. As far as sports, I'm still open to a sports job, but not maybe college athletics unless it was one team. What a lot of people don't understand is when you take a job in college athletics, it's every single team. So there were 17 D1 programs at Wyoming, and we also serviced the band, the cheerleaders, and rodeo. So that took it up to 20. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And for the better part of 15 months, I had just me. So yeah, that was cool and also scary all at the same time. So yeah, trying not to find something that that workload is as crazy where I literally fell off the face of the earth for all months except for 3 of them. So yeah, that's what's next. Scary, unknown chapter, but an exciting one because I get to come back to this and you guys and the thoughts from the bench and a Great Depression, listeners and watchers and audience. I'm super excited about that. That's going to be, I think, the small crutch that I hang on to that's going to keep me mentally going forward through this really uncertain time. And I'm really excited for those of you who have never seen this part of me or never got to be a part of this to get to be a part of this. There's a lot of hundreds of people who've I've made great relationships with that I hope you like this part because it's some of my favorite stuff to do is talk and be a part of this. If you're new, A Great Depression is just a show where I talk to my friends about bullshit, about life when you're growing up or things you realize now as an adult or weird, goofy things that you remember and can't quite explain or don't remember why it's funny or cool. And if you're on this feed, you can see there's a bunch of these. So check those all out. Two Beers Deep is our sports podcast. It's just a week review in sports. It may lean a little bit Pittsburgh-based at times, but we try to stay fairly wide. And we talk about the NBA, we talk about golf, we talk about everything, soccer, all of it. And it's a really great show between 3 best friends who, as this show title would suggest, are 2 beers deep, bitching to each other about sports, and it's awesome. It's fun. Some of my happiest memories have come from that show. So hopefully if you're met me in the past 15 months, you're along for the ride. And if I've dinged your feed, you're excited about the return of A Great Depression and me back creating content. I'm sure that there are a couple of you wondering if I will be eating pizza. As you may tell, I'm not as fat as I was when I was eating pizza once a week. So that won't return in the capacity that it was where that was every week too. That was a lot of pizza and a lot of money and I'm unemployed. So don't ask me to spend money on pizza. But there's a couple of spots here in Laradice that deserve a review. And as we see and find them, they'll come out. Buy the Slice was pretty awesome, and a lot of you loved it, so we'll make sure we touch on it a little bit, but it won't be what it was. If you're looking for regular content from me, that will be Two Beers Deep and just doing silly things on TikTok and Instagram. And then seasonally with a Great Depression, and then occasionally with a Buy the Slice. But and of course, who knows what happens next, because as we know, when Thoughts from the Bench is rolling, man, it's it's a monster. So for every mall rat, JanSport backpack emo kid struggling with the boredoms of everyday adult life, hit the music.